Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Next Gen Bible Project. My name is Sophie and I am so excited. Sunday is the best day of the week. We miss meeting with you in person, but we are so glad we get to connect online. Thank you so much for those of you who have sent in your pranks, your top tricks, your favourite Bible stories. We love to hear from you. So if you have any time this week, make sure you send them on over. We're now going to spend some time worshipping together. We love to worship God. We love to party and dance in the presence of God. And He loves to hear us sing and see us dance. So why don't you stand up now where you are. Let's worship together and then we're going to watch our video.
Sound that will break the Toby, what's your favorite Bible story?
My favourite Bible story is Jesus feeding the 5,000
Why do you like that story?
because it involves food.
That's right.
Okay, Phoebe, what is your favourite Bible story?
Not Josephus.
Okay.
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus. Why? Why is it your favourite?
Because it takes some money.
He takes some money, yeah? What else happens?
And God says give it back.
Yes, right. Jesus comes and talks to Zacchaeus, and Zacchaeus gives the money back.
Yeah.
Cool.
Reuben, what's your favourite Bible story?
Jonah and Samson.
Jonah and Samson?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I like how big the fish is, and I like how strong Samson is, and I like the lion attacking Samson.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Lydia, what's your favourite Bible story?
Jonah.
Jonah and the whale?
No,
Oh, what? Jonah and the...
nothing.
Jonah and the nothing.
Yeah. And a whale.
And why is Jonah your favourite story?
Because it got the whale in it.
It has got the whale in it.
There's this really interesting poem in the book of Isaiah that talks about beautiful feet. So Jerusalem, the spiritual homeland of the Jewish people, has been destroyed by a powerful empire called Babylon. Most of the people were sent away from their homeland as captives. Some of the poor people were left in the city to care for the land. And everyone is wondering, what in the world just happened?
Wasn't Jerusalem supposed to be the city where God would rule and bring peace and blessing to the world?
That's why the people were so confused. They felt like God had abandoned them.
Yeah, I mean, everything was destroyed.
The prophet Isaiah had been telling everyone that living corrupt lives and turning away from God would lead to this very thing.
Isaiah's warnings came true.
But the poem isn't over. It goes on to say that there's a watchman on the city walls who spots a messenger far out in the hills. The messenger is running toward the city, shouting, "Good news! Good news!" That's when Isaiah says how beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news.
What exactly does that mean?
The feet are beautiful because they are carrying a beautiful message.
What's the message?
That even though Jerusalem had been destroyed, God still reigns as king, and he will come back to the city one day, sit on his throne, and bring peace.
So the watchmen sing for joy because of the good news that God is still king.
Right. Now jump over to the New Testament. We see the same phrase, good news, which is the Greek word evangelion. You might hear it with the word gospel.
So when Christians say, "Do you believe the gospel?" they mean, do you believe the news?
Not just any news. In the Bible, this phrase is always about announcing the reign of a new king.
King Jesus.
Right. And in the New Testament, this phrase is used to summarize all of Jesus' teachings. They say he went about spreading the good news of God's kingdom.
So, Jesus saw himself as the messenger bringing the good news.
But the way Jesus described God's reign was very different from what people were expecting.
What were they expecting?
When you think of the successful kingdom, what do you think of?
Strength, power, a kingdom that can destroy its enemies.
But Jesus said the greatest in God's kingdom was the weakest.
The greatest is the weakest? That doesn't make sense.
It does when you understand what God values. Jesus said the greatest is the one who loves and serves the poor. That living under God's rule means loving your enemies, forgiving them, and seeking peace.
Which is really different from the ways we act sometimes.
God's kingdom is an upside-down kingdom because it operates by a completely different set of values.
Upside-down kingdom. I like that.
There's this really interesting story about a Roman officer who begs Jesus to heal someone in his house. He even bows down and calls Jesus his Lord.
A powerful Roman officer bowing to Jesus.
And here's what's interesting. Jesus acknowledges what this man recognized, something that no one else did. That not only was Jesus announcing God's kingdom, he was the king. Jesus appointed 12 disciples,
which are an image of Israel's 12 tribes.
Jesus went around healing people and forgiving them of their sins. And the religious leaders of Israel were so upset by everything Jesus was doing that they decided to stop him.
By having him killed.
And here's the thing, Jesus let them.
Hold on, he let them? I mean, that's a weird thing to do if you're trying to become king.
For Jesus, this is what had to happen. Jesus saw the sin of his people, Israel, as just one small part of the big human problem.
That all of mankind has rebelled against God and caused devastation over our whole world.
So how is God going to bring his reign over this kind of corrupt world?
By a tragic act of sacrificial love for his enemies.
Jesus' death on the cross.
Which is why the Gospels describe Jesus' death as his way of becoming the true king of the Jews.
He gets a crown, a robe. He's lifted up, not onto a throne, but onto a cross. How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news. And the good news now is that Jesus has defeated death. He is alive and he is the true king.
He conquered our sin through his life, his death, and his love.
Jesus sends out his followers to keep announcing the good news of the upside-down kingdom.
And to invite everyone to accept Jesus as their king.
The true king who defeated death with his love.
So when people talk about believing the gospel, they mean the good news that Jesus is king.
That's right. And the reason this is good news is because Jesus is such a good, loving, and just king. And he invites everyone to be part of his upside-down kingdom by following God's ways.
We call it the upside-down kingdom because God's values are completely different from the world's.
Right, like when Jesus says, love others, even your enemies.
Jesus said the greatest in his kingdom is not the one with the most power, money, popularity.
He said the greatest is the one who acts like a servant, the one who loves and helps others in need.
This is a completely different way to live.
Being committed to Jesus means learning from him and actually doing what he teaches.
When we follow Jesus, we are acting as true citizens for God's kingdom.
That is so cool. If you were watching and you're wondering about this book called Isaiah, you can find it in your Bibles if you've got one of these at home. And on page 711, it's the verse that they were talking about in chapter 52, verse 7. How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of the messenger who brings good news, the good news of peace and salvation, the news that God of Israel reigns. The watchmen shout and sing with joy, for before their very eyes they see the Lord returning to Jerusalem. I love the book Isaiah, it's so interesting. And you know what? In chapter 9, and that is on page 670 in this Bible, it even tells you about Jesus coming. And this was written way before Jesus was born on earth. It says this in chapter 9, verse 6. For a child is born to us, a son given to us. The government will rest on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. That's talking about Jesus. Isn't that awesome? And so this week, why don't you have a look at those 2 pages, read through a bit of Isaiah, and get excited about the fact that way before Jesus even came to earth, the Bible talked about him. That is awesome. What I love about Jesus is that when he was on earth, he done loads and loads of good things. He was the bringer of good news. And you can do the same. So this week, my challenge to you is to love and pray. And 2 ways I want you to do that. First of all, I want you to love somebody in your family. You have been with them for a very long time now. It's been about 10 weeks and things might be getting a little bit hairy around the edges, a little bit tense. So this week, I want you to do something that shows them how much you love them. Maybe it's you want to write them a card. Maybe you just want to go and give them a big hug. Maybe you want to do something for them. Maybe help them with some things around the house, help them with their homework. I don't know, I want you to choose. But this week, just like Jesus, I want you to love. And then second of all, I want you to pray. I want you to pray to God about somebody who doesn't yet know the good news. Because Jesus came down to earth so that everybody, even the people that didn't like him, could be saved and they could be set free from their sin. So this week, I want you to pray for someone who doesn't yet know the good news of Jesus, that they would know the good news of Jesus. And hey, it might even be you that gets to tell them all about him. It's really cool. So this week, love and pray. That is what I want you to do. Now we're going to head to one of our favourite sections of the show. It is Rank the Prank. And hey guys, start pranking your family, in love obviously, but start pranking them and send us videos. We love to see what you're up to. Let's head to Rank the Prank.
So, 8 o'clock in the morning, and Charlotte, the lazy lump, isn't out of bed yet.
Simba. Amazing, that is so cool. I love the feature of a dog this week. If you guys have any pets around the house, fish, snails, cats, dogs, and they can do tricks, feel free to send them to us as well. We love to see animals, they're so cute. And it's awesome. I'd love to see a snail do a trick as well. That would be next level epic. I have loved hanging out with you this week. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. If you're going back to school this week, we're going to be praying for you and hoping you have an amazing time being reunited with some of your friends. And for those of you who are staying at home, we're praying for you as well. Don't forget, everybody, to love and pray. Now, I don't know about you, if you've been watching the Dreamers episodes before this, I'm missing the Hammer Man, right? You know, when Anthony stops and hammer times, right? So now we've got a video next that you can dance along to just to get the feeling of the Hammer Man back. So get on your shades, your hats, your cool t-shirts, and let's dance out together. Let's go. Here we go.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. My music hits me, so makes me say, oh my, thank you for blessing me with a mind to rhyme and to hype. It feels good when you know you're down. A super dope homeboy from the old town, and I'm known as such. And this is a beat that you can't touch. I told you, homeboy, can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you know, can't touch this. Look at my eyes, man. Can't touch this. Yo, let me bust a funky lyric. Fresh new kicks and pants, you got it like that, so you know you wanna dance. So move out of your seat and get a fly girl and catch this beat while it's rolling. Hold on, pump a little bit, let them know what's going on like that. Like that, cold on a minute, so make a ball back. Let them know that you're too much, and this is a beat you can't touch. Yo, I told you, you can't touch this. Why you standing there, man? Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. Every time you see me, the hammer's just so hype. I'm dope on the floor and I'm magic on the mic. Now why would I ever stop doing this when others making records that this don't hit? I'm torn around the world, from London to the Bay. It's hammer, go hammer, MC hammer, yo hammer, and the rest can go and play. Can't touch this. You can't touch this. Can't touch this.